What's up everybody, welcome and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm super excited to be sharing two game-changing books with you. These books are not just excellent reads, they are mind shifters. And so if you want to change your thinking and change and level up on your habits, these are the books for you. Stay tuned and I'll share with you more about these two books. So, the other day, I was looking for a book that would expound on the idea of identity-based habits that James Clear speaks about in his book. And so as I was looking around, I was recommended this book titled Mindset, written by Carol S. Dweck. Now, this book is very, very interesting, and it shifted the way that I think about talent and about my abilities and talents. And in the book, Carol poses to us the idea of two different kinds of mindset, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And as she was explaining and giving examples in a book, I could see myself in some of those scenarios and situations, and how for a really, really long time, I have been one of those people that were stuck in the fixed mindset mentality of thinking. I thought, especially through high school, I thought that, there are people who are intelligent, there are people who are just smart at things, right? And there are people who are just not. And so if I attempted to do something and it just didn't stick the first time or the second time or the third time, I would usually conclude that, you know what, this is not my thing. I probably should give it up. But in addition to that, because I had this fixed mindset approach on things, it also meant that I usually gravitated towards things that I knew, that I understood, and that I had tested and tried and knew that I could do, right? Instead of wandering to exploring new things, new items, new areas, and learning new things. Because every time I'd be afraid that, you know what, if I try something new, what if I'm really terrible at it? And if I'm terrible at it, that means that the idea that I am mentally gifted would be shattered in a sense. And so as I was reading through the book Mindset, it really honed home to me that it is important for us to have a growth mindset in our approach to things. And in the growth mindset, we are open to change. We are open to learning new things. We are open to new ideas and new ways of doing things. I really like the quote that says, "We are born with potential, but it's our mindset that decides what we do with it." Carol gave a number of examples of people like in real life who, have been very talented innately, but because they've got the fixed mindset, it really cripples them from living to their fullest potential, because every time they're consistently looking to stay within the boundaries that will validate their genius or their excellence. And even sometimes they are so afraid of continuing to move and to express themselves in their gift, because they're afraid that, oh, what if I mess it up this time, right? And shatter the idea that people have in their minds that I'm really excellent at this. Or they will prevent themselves from trying and growing in a particular area because they're thinking, you know, people who are gifted, or people who other people consider as gifted, shouldn't be seen as trying or putting in effort into something. And so I thought this was a really excellent book. It really shattered my my illusion of what excellence is. Excellence, or being gifted, or being good at good, is not the absence of trying or being just naturally gifted or talented. But for most of the time, people who get to the zenith of their professions, the zenith of success, the zenith of whatever it is they're doing in life, are the people who are insistent on putting in the hard work and who understand that life is not fixed, right? When you fail at something, it doesn't mean that it's a dead sentence, or that it's an assurance that you should be discounted from that area. But when failure does happen, really what it is just feedback on what areas you can grow in, feedback on what you can do differently, feedback on how you can improve. And so reframe. That's the tip that I would leave you with today. Reframe failure. Reframe failure from just being a final sentence, but reframe failure as feedback, not a verdict. The second book that I would highly recommend, I have been on a journey with this book. I've done a number of videos on this, on some of the key ideas in this book already. I will leave links for those videos somewhere in the description box below. But I really, really love this book, written by James Clear. This book is none other than Atomic Habits, written by James Clear. And I love this book. Not only is it written in a simple way, it is condensed to practical ways, really easy to follow, practical ways that we can actually implement the ideas into our everyday life. And I think that's the excellence and the genius of this book, that it really helps us and works with us, right? To enable us to implement what we are learning in this book. And in the book, there is the idea that you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And isn't that so true and so profound? How many times as people have we written New Year's resolutions? We've got our 20 goals or our 10 goals, or however many goals it is. And we're so fired up and we're ready to go in the new year. And we're thinking, yes, this is the year that I'm going to change. This is the year that I'm going to do things differently. This is the year that I'm going to become the best version of myself, right? Only to wake up 2 months later and you look at your goals and you think, my goodness, I haven't even done half of the things that are in this list. Or even, I've attempted one or two, but, by the end of the first week, I've actually fizzled out. I can't do it anymore. And this is one idea that I absolutely loved, that you can have a list of goals, you can have a list of things that you really desire to do and to become. But if your systems in your everyday life do not support these goals, they're not going to happen by magic. It's not going to happen as you think. And so James Clear it talks about the importance of ensuring that our systems support the goals and the visions that we desire at the end of the day. And he also talks about starting small, right? Starting small. If you want to run a marathon, or let me rephrase that, if you want to eat an elephant, you don't start by eating the whole thing. You eat it one spoon at a time. And so that's the same thing with us creating new habits, right? You start small. You start with small incremental changes and add on as you go. Because if you want to run a marathon and just start thinking, okay, just from zero, I'm going to run 10K every week when you've never run before, that is a big undertaking, and that could potentially lead you to giving up quickly, because it's not for where you are at that time, and your fitness level. It might not be sustainable. And so he poses the idea of starting small, right? If you want to run a marathon, maybe just start with running around the block, right? And as you learn how to show up and run around the block, increase that running around the block to running 1 kilometer, and increase that to running 2 kilometers, right? And not just starting from 0 to 100. And so there are many, many, many things, many lessons to learn from this book. I could literally go on and on and on. And in actual fact, I have been going on and on and on about some of the lessons in this book. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll leave links to the videos that I've already done in the description box below, so you can check them out if you desire to do so, and if you desire just to get a peek of what other lessons there are in this book, titled Atomic Habits by James Clear. And so these two books have really shifted my mindset and my thinking towards a sustainable change, right? They've helped me from wishing to actually doing and taking action. And I think that these books can do the same for you. They can really help you get started on your journey to change and to personal growth. Let me know in the comment section below which one of these books would you pick first to read. And I am really curious and interested to know what is actually on your reading list for August. So please let me know in the comment section below what you will be reading this August, what personal development books you would recommend for me to do a review on in the future, or to read for my edification. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with me. Really appreciate your company. And thanks again for your time. Until next time, see ya.